Thinking about buying or selling a home in Niles, Michigan? Then you are in exactly the right place. We are about to dig into the latest Niles MI housing market update to see what the numbers are really telling us and, what it all means for you and your next move. So let's just cut right to the chase, shall we? The single biggest thing you need to know, the main takeaway from all the data, is this. Niles is firmly, and I mean firmly, a seller's market. Pretty much every other number we look at today just reinforces this one powerful fact. So for anyone in the market, sellers are in the driver's seat. All right, first up, the one number everybody wants to know about, home prices. Let's take a look at what the Niles real estate market trends are telling us about what your home is worth today, and maybe more importantly, how much that value has actually grown. Okay, so here we are. As of February 2026, the median estimated home value in Niles has hit $214,690. Now, that number itself is a pretty solid benchmark, right? But it's the change in that value over the last year that really tells the story of what's happening. And get this, home values have absolutely rocketed up by 11.8% in just the last 12 months. That's not just a little bit of growth, that's a huge surge in appreciation. It's a massive signal of just how intense buyer demand is right now. So what does an 11.8% jump actually look like? Well, think about it this way. A home that was worth around $192,000 just 1 year ago could now be worth almost $215,000. For homeowners, that's a fantastic gain in equity. But if you're thinking about buying a home in Niles, it paints a picture of a much more competitive and, frankly, more expensive market than it was just a year ago. So why are prices climbing so darn fast? It really all comes down to that classic story of supply and demand. And let me tell you, here in Niles right now, the supply is incredibly, incredibly tight. Just look at this number. Right now, there are only 79 homes for sale in all of Niles. That's it. That's the entire supply. So for every potential buyer out there, this creates a real feeling of scarcity and, of course, some pretty intense competition for those few houses that do become available. And because there are so few homes, when a great one does hit the market, well, it doesn't stick around for long. The median time a house stays on the market is just 53 days. That kind of speed means that buyers have to be ready to see a home and make a decision, like right away. Now, this next number, this is maybe the most important one for really getting a feel for the market's temperature, the months of housing supply. We're currently sitting at just 2.19 months. So what does 2.19 months of supply actually mean? Okay, imagine this. If not a single new home was listed for sale starting tomorrow, Niles would be completely sold out of homes to sell in just a little over 2 months. I mean, anything below 5 months is considered a seller's market, so 2.19 is, well, it's exceptionally low. It signals some pretty extreme pressure. It's really the perfect storm, isn't it? You have this super low inventory being chased by a whole lot of motivated buyers. This is exactly what we mean when we say it's a strong seller's market, just like we said at the very beginning. Okay, so we've looked at all the data. Now let's get practical. How do you take all these numbers and turn them into a winning strategy, whether you're trying to buy a house or sell one? The dynamic here could not be more clear. If you're planning on buying a home in Niles, you just have to be prepared for a fight. But on the other hand, if you're thinking of selling a home in Niles, you are walking into this market from a very, very powerful position. For buyers, it is all about preparation, getting fully pre-approved for your loan, and I mean actually pre-approved, not just pre-qualified. That's non-negotiable. It shows sellers you're for real. You also have to be ready to act the second you find a home you love. And, of course, your offer has to be strong, not just on price, but maybe with some flexible terms that are going to appeal to the seller. And for sellers, this data is your best friend. Knowing your property is a hot commodity lets you price it strategically, not just slapping a price on it, but setting it up to get maximum interest and maybe even multiple offers. You are absolutely in a position to expect favorable terms that work for you. So, we've seen the numbers. We know it's a competitive field out there. The real question now is, how are you going to use this information? Whether you're a buyer trying to find your perfect spot or a seller who's ready to cash in, your success really comes down to the strategy you build from here. So, what's your next move? Trying to navigate a market that's moving this fast can be a real challenge. That's why having someone you can trust to guide you is so important. This Niles housing market update was brought to you by Conklin, who you might also know as Jake the Home Expert. In a market like this one, data is your map, but a real local expert is your guide. As the local real estate expert in Niles, Michigan, and all the surrounding communities, Jake Conklin is here to help you turn these numbers into a real-life success story. We hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you for the next update.